Well, my people, in today's video, I'm going to tell you the most serious mistakes that you should not make when you're going to do a fade, so pay close attention. The first mistake that you should not make when you're going to do a fade is to raise the machine too much on the sides. This mistake is very common since we think that if we raise the machine too much on the sides, it will look much better. But what we cause with this is that the cut is disconnected. When you do a fade, you have to make the top part connect with the side part, just like I explained in the video above. First, you pass the guide number 4 to make the base, and that's it. The second mistake is not doing the spooning motion. This is one of the keys to making the fade much easier, and many barbers do not do it. If you want to erase the lines of the guides much easier, you have to do the spooning motion at all times. And not only that, but also when you make the spaces of the guides, you must do the spooning motion. Remember that if you do not know how to do the spooning motion, I recommend that you watch the tutorial up here where I explain step by step how to do it. The third mistake is believing that with the same guide that raised the line, we are going to erase it. For example, we are erasing the line of the high O with the half lever guide a little open, and while we are erasing it, the line rises a little more, and we believe that if we continue passing that same guide, we will end up erasing it. But what we cause is that the line rises more, and then the cut will be very high. If you are erasing a line and it goes up, don't keep passing that guide over it. Rather, grab another larger guide, which in this case would be guide 1, and now finish erasing that line. Well, the fourth mistake that I often make is not knowing what type of technique you are going to use before starting the cut. For example, when the client sits down and you are going to give them a haircut, you don't know what type of technique you are going to start with. Many times you start with one technique, but then halfway through you do another one and then another one because you get confused, and that's why you end up stressing yourself out. Before starting a cut, you have to be very clear about the technique you are going to perform on the client, so that our brain remembers all the steps involved in doing that technique. Or if you only know one technique, then it is also good to review the steps before using the machine. The fifth mistake is that many barbers, when they are learning a new technique, want to practice it on a new client, and I am almost sure that the cut will not turn out well and you will lose a potential client. I recommend that when a new client comes to you, you do not start making things up and do the cut with the technique that you already know by heart. New techniques are only practiced with old clients or with clients that you trust a lot, or if you already have a lot of experience there, it does not matter because you are going to fix that problem no matter what. Well, the sixth serious mistake is not making the same space measurements on both sides of the head. If you have ever wondered why one side is darker than the other, this is the reason. If you make the space smaller on one side than the other, it will be darker. Or if you make the space larger on one side than the other, it will be much lighter. That is why you should always mark the same measurements on both sides. In almost all the videos, I will tell you to mark the spaces of 1 centimeter, then you will know what I mean. The seventh mistake is not stretching the skin when you are erasing a line. Many people, when they are doing a fade past the machine without stretching the skin, knowing that they will have to work much harder if you want to make a fade easier, what you have to do is stretch the skin at all times, whether you are going to erase the high zero line or the one guide and more. If you are going to shave, when you are going to shave, it is mandatory that you stretch the skin so that you do not cut the client. Okay, and finally, I'm gonna tell you the most serious mistake that most barbers make, and that is that when we are doing a cut, we put ourselves in very uncomfortable positions just to see if the line is being erased. I don't know why we do this, knowing that being in a straight position is going to be the same. For example, when I am erasing a line that is a little difficult, I try to bend in an unnecessary way, and when I realize it is because my back or neck is hurting. Seriously, it is not necessary to bend in this way just to do a cut. When you see that a line is not being erased, you grab the client's head and turn it a little this way, you will be able to erase the line super easily without having to bend over. Let me know in the comments which of these mistakes you have made or if any other mistake was necessary. I hope it has been very helpful to you. Do not forget to give it a like, subscribe, and activate the bell to be aware of new videos.